you were in Barcelona. Oh, I remember. But you have more hair. You cut your hairs, no?
Yes,
and I remember
that's the lockdown.
Yeah. During the lockdown, I have two long hairs, and that was terrible. Here, I cut myself, and that was terrible.
Hello, Lancelot. Welcome to this new round of filmed interviews for Fabulamundi.
Okay, thank you very much. Are we going to speak in English or can I speak in French?
I'm afraid we'll need to speak in English.
Okay, I will try with my very bad English and some little Italian bad too. Okay, very glad to be with you here in this no space. Yes, I am in my studio in Paris, where I'm working in this strange and grey time. So I have to introduce myself. My name is Lancelot Hamelin. I'm playwright. I'm fascinated by fiction, all kind of fiction, and so I wrote some novels, some comics book, some a little bit of journalism, and I'm interested also in narration of dreams and nightmares. How we can tell what happens in our life when we are sleeping. And since some years, I work a lot with, I do some kind of inquiries. I gather some narration of dreams, some testimonies of our life during the night. And since 2 or 3 years, I'm working on that kind of inquiry about medieval mental hospital in Aleppo, in Syria. In the Middle Age, there was a very beautiful hospital for insane people, for crazy people, for madness. And the philosophy of the cure is very modern, or more than modern, and so I'm working on that kind of inquiry that I organize in collectively. I don't do the inquiry on my own myself, like a journalist or a sociologist. I organize some group, and we are doing inquiry together.
Tell me a bit more about the working process. How are you managing to work together safely with your colleagues when you go to Caen?
Yes, we have the chance that the mental institution where we are working is in a very in a politic of psychiatry politic that we call institutional psychotherapy, which is a way to consider the psychotherapy as a work on the institution itself. It's not like in Italy the movement anti-psychiatry, who say that we don't need a mental institution, and the ill people must have to live in the society. That could be great, but maybe it's a little bit idealistic. And for some patients, for some people, it could be important to be protected from the city, from the others. So the institutional psychotherapy developed a way of working with mental disease, working with the politic condition, situation of the institutions. And so the le foyer Léon Richet, where we are working has a very serious politic to dialogue with the region, the city, the state, and to organize the things. And so, except during the first how you say confinement, lockdown, except during the first lockdown, we stopped everything, and that was very difficult for the patient and the institution. But since that, I'm going each month to the place, and we are working with them with a lot of restriction and constraint to protect ourselves and the people who is working. But we still continue to work together and to speak, to explore the document that some architects or historians or specialists send to us about the story of the Bimaristan. This hospital is called the Bimaristan. Bimaristan is a Persian Iranian word, and it means the house for the hill people. And during the Middle Age, the Islamic culture developed some big hospitals. There was in Granada in Spain, and in Marrakesh in Tunisia, in Egypt. And the Bimaristan of Aleppo, this Bimaristan of Aleppo, Al Argun, was dedicated to the mental disease, to the madness. And so we can continue to work during this period, and that's very important. This work and the Hill people are very important for us too, and we are okay. It's important to keep courage and to keep the situation is not the worst that it can be. That's what we learn every day in this work. So it means that the situation can be worse than what we know. If someday the workshop is cancelled because one of the patients is ill, it will be a catastrophe. And if the lockdown come back, it will be a catastrophe for the people with whom we are working, who need to keep in contact with the others. You see, so.
And I just wanted to ask you, technology has become a big part of all our lives in the last year. And I wonder if you have a sense of how it may change your work as an artist, as a theatre maker, as a writer. Yeah,
because of technology, I become a very specialist of platforms, Zoom, Team, Discord, a lot of, but I dislike, I'm not good with that. But I come back to before the pandemic. I want to stop smartphone, to be slow. I bought some second-hand computers. I try to be on Linux, Ubuntu. Everything is very complicated. They say that it's very simple, but for me everything is very complicated. To go in the BIOS, in the terminal, and to copy a sentence of very. But I need this complication and to slow the movements and all the possibilities. So there are some accidents. So for the project about the Bimaristan, I'm working on the letters. I'm writing by hand some letters to my. Maybe I will write to you. And it's a way to write. I try to. Yes, we are working on engraving with the old press, and we are doing. That the Bimaristan. It's not in the good sense. Bimaristan Argun. This monument is still living in Aleppo. So technology, and this by chance this year I have a job of teacher in a school of video games. I never played to video games, but I teach numeric comics book to a class who are doing comics book for smartphone and tablet, and so I'm very interested in all these numeric possibilities, but I'm afraid of the nuclear, of the atomic, of the energy we need to the paper is less terrible than to one click to command a book on Amazon, for example, is using 6,000, I hear that, 6,000 sheets of papers. Like if it's one click, it's like if you, because there's a lot of page of codes and using the, so it's frightening. Why didn't we work on telepathy and mental, like in Dune, the science fiction movie, the Bene Gesserit, they say that if you don't need technology, don't use technology. And you find that in the biography of Feynman, the physician, who says, why using a motor when you can use your hands? So it's not reactionary, or, in England you had the Luddites, yeah. Why not? But we need the computer, and I don't believe that Bill Gates will inject us something with. But I think that in terms of mythology, it's not. It can. Yeah, in fiction I would like this idea. In politics it's dangerous. The Capitol, QAnon, no. But I read the biography of Steve Jobs. The biography of Steve Jobs is very interesting, as the biography of Napoleon, but Napoleon was the hero of the nations, the hero, the god, or the monster of nations, and Steve Jobs was the hero or monster of the individuation. And this technology separates us, and it's a little bit frightening, but it's also fascinating as a new. I don't know. I'm not anti-technology, but I like to be afraid of technology. I don't know.
Did you have any projects that were already in progress? Any theatre projects when the pandemic started?
So since the pandemic, since last year, there was a lot of performance project cancelled. All the creation, like what we can call creation or presentation, cancelled. It's the problem for a lot of people in the field of theater, dance, or that kind of art. But I have the impression that we are living a very important period. There happened something happened really new, really different, something like what can be a change of paradigm. Maybe it's a continuation of other things, but I think it's good to stop some production, some actions, some movement. I think it can be important to accept to abandon, to accept that something is not working. But deeply, all my important project, like this inquiry about madness madness and war, this story with Syria and madness is continuing. And so for me, it's a difficult period, but so we are working with a group of patients of a mental institution in Caen, in Normandy, in France, and we still continue to work, even with this lot of difficulties. I continue to go to this city and to work with these people, and with a film director whose name is Christophe Bisson, and we work together on the memory of this building in Aleppo, which is not destroyed by the war. All the old city of Aleppo was really bombing, really hardly destroyed, but this monument, like by miracle, is still there and in very good. And so for me it's more important to work on that project a little bit subterranean, a little bit under the line of the water, where no production in perspective. Some theater or museum help us, but there is not project of performance, but we are working deeply on this thing. We are writing, filming, doing engraving to constitute a kind of book that we call the fabrication of the book against war, and that will be a book very a little bit rush. We are doing that kind of it's a copy of an engraving of a patient who make this engraving, and the people are doing that kind of, this is and we are doing some engraving, you know. Is Xavier who is doing engraving.
It sounds like a wonderful project and a great resource to have to be working on during this time. What do you hope, and you're most optimistic, what do you hope could come out of this for theatre and for society?
Seriously, I have no hope. No, what can I say? I'm afraid that the strong predators will have a free field for them, and even myself, it's very the only thing I can do is to continue this little work with the institution in camp, but grace to the political strongness of this institution and the strongness of the patient. They are crazy, but they're not stupid, and they are very strong, and they continue to work on their madness to keep their equilibrium. You know? And so for myself, I only keep this little rope, as I said, but I lose a lot of contact with people, with groups, with even with parents of the children at school. It's very difficult to keep contact with the mask, with the time. We have a couvre-feu, cover fire, curfew at 6 p.m. We just have the time to come back work, do some buy something at the supermarket, or it's very difficult to keep contact with all the other parents, and it's my fault, but I'm so when I see the limitation of my resources, I hope that other people have more resources, but I'm afraid that the resources are. What can I hope is a reinvention in local situation, where people can reinvent some relationship, reinvent some productive way of to produce some things and to organize themselves. So it's a difficult period, but I think we have to face it and to concentrate on what is really essential. Okay, I don't know what in my English is coming to you. Between English and technology, what is coming to you?
Your English is excellent. Thank you for making the effort.
Okay, for what I have to say, it's all right.